This is Too Long for a Voice Note, a podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. Presented by Claire
and Enzo. Our podcast is produced in London. Some conversations are just too long for a voice note.
Hi guys, she's Claire.
and he's Enzo.
This is Too Long for a Voice Note. Welcome back, guys. Welcome to a new episode of our podcast. Thank you so much for watching, listening, whatever you are right now doing it, consuming the podcast.
Thank you guys so much for watching us again. We're
Subscribing.
Really, hope
As always, let's do this in the beginning so you get this straight away. Remember to like, subscribe, share,
comment,
send to your friends, like harass someone else to tell you like you need to watch or you need to listen to this podcast. So just don't forget to do it because that's how you help us to keep growing.
We're on Instagram and we're on Facebook.
We're everywhere.
Everywhere that
We're gonna
you
be
could
soon
possibly
a new platform. Shall we reveal?
Let's not reveal it
It's
yet.
not revealed yet. We're like getting there. It's gonna be in a new platform. You'll see our stunning faces. So get ready for more content.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us every single week. How was your weekend, so?
It's been good, Claire. You have a new look, by the way.
I got my hair
Let's talk about that.
It's subtle, but I just suddenly was like, I want to do something different with my hair because, you know, I was always just like my natural kind of brunette colour.
Yeah.
I've got some like caramel.
It's cool. I feel like you have a holiday vibe now. I feel like you're in Capri or something like that. You wish. Like, you wish you were in Capri right
Completely.
now. But
yeah,
you're here filming the podcast, so that's what you get.
Totally.
But yeah, it's been an okay week. It's been like,
went really quickly,
working
do you think?
Really quickly. I mean, thanks
Flew.
God, I was very happy that the week ends because I don't know, work, it was okay, just a bit like heavy, you know, some weeks that works are a bit but, and also, you know, it's been a bit weird with the weather, so it's like, you know.
Poor Enzo got his 1 week of sun and now...
And that's it. It's been a bit like, you know, when it's always raining, you got a bit lower, I guess.
We're nearly in August.
Lower.
We'll be...
Crazy.
How crazy is that? Where's
And
the
there
sun?
we go again, us talking about the weather.
I know.
When you live here, that's what you do because the fucking weather is a disaster all the time. You never know. It's always a surprise, like sun, snow, storm, thunderstorm. It's like, okay, whoa. So,
it's a bit bipolar.
but anyway, it's been okay. How's been your week?
It was fine, yeah, nothing really interesting to report. Had some drinks with my work colleagues, which was super nice. Haven't really met any of them because...
Crazy pandemic times,
No,
right?
but
You haven't met your
nice.
friends? Your friends?
Your friends, yeah.
Like, they're not my friends. I mean, how can it be if you haven't ever met them,
I know.
right? It's crazy.
It's so weird, like, seeing people in the flesh that you've never met because you don't have any idea of, like, how tall people are.
Yeah.
They're, like, energy.
It's not like an avatar anymore.
It's not just some shoulders and a head. It's like there's the rest of the body too. But yeah, it's super nice. It's just busy, normal. That's about it, really.
Yeah, it's like,
so,
I wish I'm craving for our summer has more activities to happen. I feel like there's not a lot happening, but at least I think we're healthy and we're okay.
Well, I mean, I have a holiday booked, but let's TBC on if that's actually going to happen.
Hopefully. I mean, you still have a bit of time. Hopefully it will change.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to definitely try to make the best out of our summer. So, Claire, I'm really pissed off with humanity and the war, as always. But this week, I think things been happening. And I'm really like, you know, it's a bit of the same in a way. But I want to talk with you about the Olympics overall.
That's my topic too.
Really?
But maybe we'll approach it from a different angle.
Okay.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to bring up.
Okay.
Imagine if it is the same.
Imagine.
I had a suspicion that we would both be talking about this week.
I mean, I think it's been like very... Okay, well...
Shall we just maybe generally have a general chat about the Olympics?
Let's do it. Yeah, because
we'll call this a special bonus episode.
About the Olympics. I think it's fair enough. I mean...
Bit of it is annoying you.
I feel this Olympics has really like shown or like exposed a lot of like racism, like things against women, you know, like a lot of sexist comments. I think it's been very messy Olympics overall in that sense. I think a lot of things have been happening as well, like a lot of like
crazy
little events. And I want to talk about like how crazy it is. Like, I don't know what do you think is the reason why so many little things has happened in these Olympics? It's because, you know, the last one was like 4 years ago, 5? How many?
Well, it's
4
normally
years.
4 years.
So, you know, I think in 4 years, I feel we have changed a bit and social media has changed. And now it's a big difference between 4 years ago to now. And now like voices are more, they have more spaces to talk and people are more open to complain or to show their issues or like really like stand up for their whatever it is. So I think these Olympics are a lot about that, like coming forward for a lot of little issues that have been always going around. And yeah
I think it's Yeah, I actually didn't put 2 and 2 together with the social media stuff. That's actually a really interesting point. I think what I wanted to talk about was actually what happened with Simone Biles this week. So do you know what kind of happened? I mean, for people that don't know, specifically what had happened was she's a really famous, like the most successful gymnast in all time. Like she's like won the most amount of gold medals. She's from America. She's for the US team. And she has pulled out of the US team because she was doing, I think it was like the vault, and basically she said she got this thing which I've never heard of called the twisties, where you basically don't like have a connection between your mind and body, so you can't spot yourself, which is clearly really important. And like with gymnasts, like you know, if you get it wrong, you can die. Like, you can paralyze yourself.
You need to be like really on it.
And so she's decided to pull out of the team. And she said it was because she's not in a good place mentally. I think this is absolutely fascinating. I'm not sure where it stands now, but there was kind of a question about whether she was going to compete in the individual events as well. But that's and I think the backlash that she's received is
crazy. It's mental.
What did you think about that?
I feel like it's really crazy. Like we're in 2021 and we still have this kind of thing with artists, sports people, like anyone that is like kind of out there or famous, that we do believe there are like kind of like robots, or there's someone that they're different than us, they're more powerful. It's really, really strange. And I do feel like people attacking her for that. They were I read some things like, Michael Phelps, he never complained about that. He won all these medals, and you as a woman, you are complaining about your mental health. So that was part of the conversation. What I found really interesting, because some people were defending her, saying like, I didn't know about this. Michael Phelps, he has a documentary, I don't know where, if in Netflix, where he actually explains how difficult it is for him how it was to get through this, and how much crazy pressure, and I think he suffered from a lot of mental
he has really
issues.
bad depression.
He had thanks to the pressure that athletes has for winning all these medals. So it was like, you know, people don't take this in consideration. You're just like, you're a woman, you're weak. But actually he was suffering a lot, and maybe his life was at risk at one point, but we don't take that in consideration.
It's really hard for athletes, because like you have to know, like they are making their money from the sponsorships that they get. Like that is how these people are going to make their money. Like bearing in mind, like she's 24 years old, she probably won't do another Olympics, especially with gymnasts. So you know, it's really hard, and it's like really like a lot of pressure, because that's the other criticism that she's come under. It's like, well, you're not being professional, because there's a lot of money riding on her, and I guess who knows how that's all going to play out, because you know, she's sponsored by massive brands, but I don't know, like when you've got to like, I think it's a bit different for Michael Phelps, because you're not really gonna, like with swimming, yes, okay, you can die, of course, but like it's very different to what she does, where you're like throwing yourself in the air. And I'm sure he was going through a really, really bad time, but like, and of course you have to have like extreme concentration, not to say that what he went through, but like that was his choice to go through with it. It's not her problem or her fault.
I feel so savage and so crazy that we're actually like judging her or backlashing her. I mean, she's getting all this backlash. It's like, why? I mean, why a person that can just admit that, I'm having this situation, so I need to pull out of here, you know?
But do you think, what about people that say, it's unprofessional? She has obligations to say Adidas or whoever.
Yeah, but that's a real thing. Because it goes again with the like sick mentality, or work mentality, or hustle mentality. It's like, it's not about professional or not. What if you're feeling bad? So you want to kill yourself? You want to risk your health? Like, I don't feel it's related exactly. That's the mentality we have. Like, being professional is push yourself until the end and die, basically. Which is like, if it's like, no, I'm being professional, I need to work 15 hours a day, I do it because I'm professional. It's not about that at all, because you're affecting your mental health and your health overall. So for her, like, why she's not professional if she was feeling sick, you know? The thing is, we hold these people to a standard. Like famous and like celebrities about blind. We believe they always have to get it right because they have these platforms, and because they're rich, or because they have blah, 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 blah. I think that's insanely like crazy, and like,
I think that's something, mad. It's, interesting. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of like layers of this kind of toxic mentality with athletes, because there will be so much shit that they push themselves through to get to where they are, and it's like hustle culture on crack, basically.
Hustle on
you
crack,
know, like, and I think it's fascinating, and I think it takes. I think it's brave of her to do that, actually.
It's very brave, because she knew this would happen.
Yeah.
Like, people reacting in that way. But I also like, I think it's the role, as always, we talk about social media and how social media really like changes it, because I think we never thought about this. And I've never thought in the past, like, what if one of them feels sick?
Yeah. No,
because
neither,
I don't have that in my
actually.
mind. I mean, you're always thinking that, they're invincible. They're like this great human, this superhuman, they can do everything. I never think like, oh, maybe this person gets sick or feel bad and they need to like retire kind of thing, you know? And I feel like, again, I think social media plays a huge role, because it's a backlash, but also is a part of it that is kind of educational part, with people is like more aware or more like, well, it's her right. Or
Do you think, I don't, well, let me ask you.
Yeah.
If she had said, I've fucked up my ankle and I can't do it, I can't do the vault, that would have been taken better than I'm struggling with my mental health.
Of course. Because we don't believe that the mental health is part of our body, you know?
Even though, like, she got the twisties because of her mental health. Because we all know that there's, like, a mind... they know that better than anyone, that the mind-body connection.
Yeah.
If you don't feel good in your head, like, you're not going to feel good in your body.
Yeah.
But I think that... And I actually think it's horrible that she's had to bear the brunt of it, but hopefully, like, she's got a lot of support around her. But, like, it is a good thing that this has happened, because this is showing, like... that mental health is a very, very real thing, and also but also still that people aren't. It's not really quite acceptable for us to give that as a reason for doing.
It's weird, because I don't know why we think like a problem we have here it's not a physical problem,
because we can't see it.
Exactly, it's like our brain is real and our brain is a physical thing as our arms, but it's inside here, and obviously you can see your emotions and feelings and all of that. But why I think that goes in that same thing, why we don't think it's also a physical problem. But the thing is, a mental health doesn't mean it's not physical, because it's affecting your body. You know what I mean?
Completely.
And it's not coming from the air.
Yeah.
It's not coming from a cloud that it's sending you like a, you know, it's crazy.
Do you know what it is about mental health? I believe it's that it's sometimes, I think it's hard to explain it. Sometimes I think it's hard to put words to it. So for example, if you have a broken ankle, we can all be like, oh God, like, I can imagine that feeling of like how it would be. Yeah. But with mental health, sometimes, you know, it's a bit hard to say like, I'm just really sad, but I can't quite describe why. But that shouldn't be a reason that people don't.
It shouldn't.
But in her case, like, she's having to explain that to the entire world, like the amount of pressure.
Wow, it's crazy.
But it's weird that we're just not quite there. We will be, but like, I think that's something to do with it. It's hard for us to talk about it, because if you.
Definitely.
It's something that you can't really describe. And shame as well. And
especially for her that is a
woman.
A woman. She's a woman, she's an athlete and all of that. It's crazy, right? I mean, I find so interesting how the time passed and how like events like this are happening, and how we see like how we can like new things happening around for humanity, like what happened like recently with the Euro, and like I think every single time everything is more exposed and more open, and we're more able to reflect on what's going on in many ways. It's a good reflection. Probably like a few years ago, if that will happen, she will talk to the press conference. She'll be like, oh, I'm retiring because I'm feeling great, and that's it. That won't make such a big noise at this time. So it's a thing. It's like
it's interesting. And I think to go back to what you said at the beginning, this Olympics has been it's quite tainted on so many levels. Like I can't remember her name, but the US runner, she got disqualified of the weed.
I was going to that direction, because there were many like. It's weird because these Olympics has shown a lot of like a racism and a lot of weird stuff that maybe they will go unnoticed. Unnoticed, but this time, because we have social media, because everything is so exposed, everything is exposed like on everywhere, like right on the spot.
True love.
And it shows the state of the war as well, and how things are going, and how if sometimes we would do things like, oh, things are getting better, it's like there's progress and changes, but there's a lot of that behind the scenes, and it's crazy what you see stuff like being racist as such a big platform as the Olympics. For example, like some of the things have some. It was so many things this week happening. For example, one thing I found really crazy. It was like a Germany cycling coach, right? He was screaming to his team this guy, and he was like chase down the Algerian rivals, right?
Okay.
Because they were like a cycling thing,
Yep.
and it was kind of like, oh, chase down, like go faster, blah blah blah. But instead of saying like, like the way of him to push his cycling motivate, it was like get the camel drivers. So this is like such like a xenophobic slur, and he was there saying like get the camel drivers to his team member who he's like, because he's a trainer. It's like he's a coach, so it's like, how can you say that in 2021, and how can you be like that? And that's why, because we forget sometimes that people are like that. Awful. But it's awful, like in such a big platform, and you feel like open to say those things. So that's,
you're right.
You know what I mean?
It's like he's not even trying to hide it. That's what.
And his apology was like something like he got caught up in the heat on the moment. It's
okay,
like, but that shows your true colors. If you are sexist, racist, xenophobic, or whatever, because you are heated up or you are in a fight or whatever, that shows your true colors, because you're fucking racist. So that's one of the things I was like,
they should be disqualified.
He should be disqualified. I was like, wow, okay, this is something. I was very surprised.
I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, I know, it's a lot of
one
things.
thing after another, honestly.
So this is another controversy about like swim caps. The thing is like, for when you have an afro hair or you have dreadlocks or any other type of hair, it needs to have a special type of cap that holds better your hair, because that's everything. In sports and many things, we think like there's a norm, right? Like a one fits all, and that's not the truth, and that's has been going for a long time. So this is a company called Soul Cap. Soul Cap create like a different type of shapes and size to, like, if you have afro hair, if you have dreadlocks, if whatever it's your type of hair, it will fit perfectly your hair and you will be good to swim.
Nice.
Which is really important, because you don't have to change your hair, or like, you know what I mean? It's not like you have long hair, let's shave your hair because it's no blah 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 blah. Basically, they create these caps, but the Olympics, the founders and all of that, they were like, we won't approve these caps, because these caps actually, quote, do not follow the natural form of the head. Because the caps, obviously, because if you have dreadlocks or whatever, if you have a long hair or whatever is your type of hair, it will more volume, because it's obviously. So they say like, no, we won't accept these caps because they don't follow the natural form of a head. So what the fuck that means? Like the natural form of a head.
It's like really like, it's kind of like this like Aryan kind of like view of like.
It's fucking 2021, really and we're bad. Really like, oh no, if you have a different, and that's really racist, because it's totally, this is basically something.
Because it's like if you don't have like European hair, then we don't care, basically.
That's
what they're saying.
Essentially, and it's like, wow. We are still there. It's incredible, like the fucking Olympics.
The thing is, these institutions, it's like old, and they're run by, I would assume, if I'm wrong, then sorry, but I would assume that like the Olympic Federation, whatever it is, probably run by a certain type of person that isn't inclusive.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
This is the thing, and this is why actually all of this shit. And this is the good thing about social media, because it's good that this is all showing and coming up to the surface, and people are like, actually, like, this is really problematic.
It makes you think, right? The state of the world and how things are going.
And also just a reminder of, like, I know this is like the understatement of the century, and like we're never going to understand this either, but like how difficult it is for like people of colour, for example. Like if you're a swimmer and you want to have like your hair, which is like
why
afro,
you need to change
example,
your hair
like,
if there's
like, it's just so not okay.
Yeah.
Like
and if we want to go there, it's weird because there's many of these things that are happening are very, very racist.
Yes.
Like it's been with the athlete with the marijuana use that you mentioned her.
Yeah. I'm not sure I can't remember her name, but
I have her name
the
here.
girl.
She was disqualified because she was actually using marijuana in a legal state in America. So she's legally using it, and it doesn't affect her performance, doesn't make her better or anything. So it should be fine.
Yeah.
There's things with the with the just mentioned her. What's her name?
Simone Biles.
Simone Biles.
And then
she's
also
black. And
Osaka, the tennis player.
The tennis
she's
player.
Black.
Yeah. So it's been now this hair situation, this swimming
true.
camps again. So it's very like, wow, it's crazy when you see these things are still happening, right? So the other thing, it was the team from Norway, the women's beach handball team. Mm-hmm. They got a fine because they were wearing shorts and not bikinis.
Oh, okay.
Because the committee or whatever from the Olympics, they were like, oh no, you need to wear bikinis because the shape of the body or whatever, it has to be this, that, and they were like, no, we want to wear shorts because it's an option. Like, why I have to wear a bikini? Maybe some of them were uncomfortable wearing a fucking bikini. So they got a fine. It was like 1,500, I think, each fine for just deciding to change their outfit for something that it's actually probably more comfortable for them.
Didn't Pink offer to pay the fine?
And Pink,
like
it is so sweet. Like the twist. Pink was like, I'm gonna pay your fine, girls. You're doing right. And you know, this is very like, this is going sexist then because they're women, so you're pushing them to like wear a small bikini when they're just throwing things around. I mean, if it's for sports reasons, I think shorts will be more comfortable for them because they don't have to worry something's gonna get out.
I can't think of anything worse
right?
than like having to wear a bikini while playing.
So
like,
it's just because of the tradition. Because you're a woman, so you need to be like a swimming
How
bikini.
How creepy is
so
that?
It's so creepy.
And
so,
it's like, it's not gonna like improve their performance if they're wearing shorts. Like, if you can give the option to everyone, then right, you can say like, you can either wear a bikini. It's like the cut of your trousers. Like, it's not gonna affect anything.
Yeah, and it's crazy because even if it changed something, well, we need to go through it and see what changes we need to make. Because the thing is, if something we've been doing for so long doesn't mean it's right. If it's something needs to be changed, you make the change. If the performance will be affected, well, we need to change the rules then.
Completely.
I mean, it's not like, oh, well, it's too problematic because the performance will be, you're going to suffer forever. This is the thing. No, because there's probably another way around. Maybe we need to change the rules, we need to change the times, the intensity, whatever it is, the game. Another issue was with a trans woman. She was also black. It goes through the same thing we're saying, that she was disqualified because she was trans while before everything was okay. I don't know the whole story of it, but at the end, you know, they do a lot of like testosterone tests to check the levels are right because you know like you need to know that, and she was totally fine, but at the end it wasn't approved by the committee because she was trans and she was black and all of that. So we go again in this like this Olympics is like a little like a
kind of like micro community of like what's happening in the world. Yeah.
So it's a bit crazy that event that should like promote inclusion, health, well-being, happiness, union is showing all of this true color from people. It's like, I mean, of course this is there. It's not like we're like, oh my god, we're so naive. Oh my god, this is happening. No, but it's crazy how something as big as this is displaying this.
I think what's hard, and I feel bad for them on some level because it's sort of like, especially with the Olympics, they're only once every 4 years, so it's sort of like you're taking away these, like that runner, that athlete. My heart really broke for that woman because. Yeah. She was smoking weed. Like, who cares? Like, it does not enhance your performance at all.
If anything, I think it will be the contrary of that.
Completely. And she said that, you know, her mum had died, right? So she was really sad and was taking it, and fine. But, like...
It's not like she was doing, like, I don't know, crack. You know? Exactly. That would be another story,
But she might not get to compete again, depending on her age. Yeah, and it's like, you're really messing with people's lives. Yeah. But I think, in a way, all of this shit is good because... things need to change, and things only change when you shine a light on it. If all this was going on and no one was saying anything, that would be more worrying. Do
you think like we really held sports people and all this type, especially sports people, like from any category, like the weird, unattainable, crazy, high standard of a superhuman, and we really don't think them as humans. We think them as sports gods, right?
Completely. And I think that like we have a really sick obsession with like being entertained. I think there's something about that as well. Like, and I think that's a lot of what is like playing into this Simone Biles thing. Like, because she's so amazing, like, and people just want to see her perform, fine. But like, you can't ask somebody to perform for you and they can literally risk their life for you. But I think there's something about that. Like, we think they're kind of like little performers who kind of need to do all of this stuff for us. And actually,
it's your job.
No,
kind of thing.
You know, of course some of them will get like a massive benefit from it because they'll get these ridiculous like sponsorship deals. But But
this is something we need to go over and understand. And this is even if it's sport, if it's music, if it's movies, like the fact like we have someone getting a lot of money through a sponsorship.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an excuse to push them these people to death.
I think there's something about the Olympics about like again going back to last week's topic, like nationalism, and like maybe have you let down like the US or like
it goes hand to hand, right?
It's something about that, and it's very odd.
It's weird that we add value to our society or to culture or to our country through these big wins, these big people that we put these people like in a pedestal. We think they're not human, and we want them to do this and other thing to obtain or to gain value to ourselves and our country. It's not a bit of like a sick like concept. It's like, oh, I'm proud of my country because my player wins all of this. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's a bit sick mentality of like putting this pressure to this person because you want through that get some validation for yourself and where you come from.
I think also it's like for a lot of people, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean, mate? It's like wow.
You like it's escapism for a lot of people, isn't it?
It is.
Like football, and it's sort of like football and these
Which
Olympics, and it is. But then you like we don't live in like a fantasy like vacuum world where it's sort of like, yes, it may be a fantasy for you and like an escapism, but still you can enjoy that sport or that artist or whatever. But like, do realise that they are people.
This is a real life, and they're part of the real life. They're not chosen ones to be like.
And they have real struggles as well.
Yeah,
like you know, their relatives will die, and like they'll have mental health problems.
It's weird. I think it's very weird relationship with that. It's really strange, and it needs to be changed. And I think I wonder how in 4 years in the next Olympics, how many changes we will see because the world needs to catch up as always is doing. I think this is good to happen because we need to change.
And this is a good thing about social media. Sorry to interrupt you, love, but it's like. Simone Biles, she has, of course she'll be working with like her manager or whatever it is, but like you're able to kind of like shape the narrative a little bit more. Like you said, it would have just been one press conference and then blah blah blah. But now she can actually say like, look, here is an example of me falling off the thing in the practice. Like, here, look, I was struggling. And like, not, I don't owe you anything, but this is what I want to say, and it's important for people to actually have these platforms. But goodness. How long does it go on for?
It's like a week and something.
Okay.
I don't know.
You watched any?
I really want to watch it because I found like really like I feel like Olympics are really impressive at the end of the day. Really cool, but I didn't have time to watch anything.
We should watch the men's volleyball because of that.
I saw something about Ukraine or Germany or something. I mean, on Twitter people are going crazy with like capturing the men. And, like, like
we're so bad. Like men should wear the little shorts.
But for them, it's okay. They should wear this tied, weird outfits or speedos just because we want to see them. Oh my! By the way, Tom Daley, he won.
Oh, so sweet.
He won. There was another controversy because people were he said, and he's just to wrap this up in the press conference like, oh, I'm proud that I'm gay and I won all these medals, blah 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 blah. He got backlash out of that. People saying like, oh, why you need to why we care about if you are gay or not? Why you need to like say it? Why you need to make a statement?
People always say that.
And he said like, well, I'm saying this because when I was a kid, I never felt like I was good enough for anything because I was gay. So he's saying like, when I was a kid, I was my whole life thinking I wouldn't be able to have opportunities, I won't be able to be good enough because I have this that it's wrong kind of thing. So that's why I'm saying now I get to this point being gay because I know this will help a lot of people out there. It will be if he's doing it, if he was able to, I will be able to. So this is the kind of thing they change the how things are shaped, and probably we will see in the future Olympics, probably in
Paris, isn't it?
I think so. It's kind of funny that we have the same topics in a way. I mean,
Olympics. To be honest, I think
it's out there. It's out there.
There's just so much happening. But guys, do please drop a comment. Tell us what you think of this year's Olympics. What do you make of all of the stuff that we spoke about? And also, if there is a topic that you would like us to speak about ever, please do drop a comment.
Let us know.
Send us a message.
Please.
Slide into our DMs on Instagram.
You're allowed to do it.
Let
Please.
us know.
So thank you very much, guys, and see you next week.
See you next week, guys. Bye.